Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. Today, just to make a change, I'm going to play a bit of a game called Neoverse. It's a completely different kind of game to most of the games I've played on this channel before. It's a kind of card-based game, and I'll show you how it works. I kind of picked it up on a PlayStation Store sale a long time ago, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, and I played it a bit for a few days, and then I kind of forgot about it, like many games that I get. So we'll just see, and I've not done a refresh, so some of this will be kind of from memory. So there you go, that's the opening screen. You start with a new journey. You can continue your journey if you sort of mid-game, but I'm obviously not. I can't remember where I finished this or how. And it's quite fun. It's a bit like, not in the way the game is, but in how you play this. I think it's a bit like something like Strike Force Gladius, where you can kind of drop into it without lots of thought. You don't have to worry about it too much, and you would play it, you know, when you've got half an hour to spare. You don't want to get into a complicated game or a game where, you know, what you do makes a lot of difference to the whole campaign. And it's quite fun, but like I said, it's fun, but you wouldn't want to be playing this all the time as your main game for sure. Well, maybe you would, I don't know. Anyway, so you get different characters with different costumes. That's an unlockable costume because I've played it a bit. These other costumes I've not unlocked. These 3 kind of characters you can be. And that one I've not unlocked any, and that one I'm sure I haven't either. They all have different abilities. We'll play with that one because I remember that one the best. And when you start, you get a kind of how you want to start. So you've kind of got that, and that's kind of how you start. They're the cards you get to start, basically. You won't kind of know what they all do until you play a bit. And how you play will sort of depend on which ones you start with. It doesn't make a massive difference because you can pick up new cards on the way. I'll go with shoot because that sounds good to me. You can also add things from this gear, but they're from trophies you've won before, and as you can see from the bottom, in the past I've won 9. I think I spent some already. You spend them on buying back a playthrough if you want to do it again sometimes and things like that, but I don't really want to spend any of that because they're quite hard to get and they're more useful to redo a playthrough, so rather than get bits of random gear which may or may not help. So there you go, there we'll just start, and you can get different bits and pieces. Again, I don't remember this super well. I remember it well enough to play it, but I thought it'd be more interesting generally if I just went into it without remembering it and having a playthrough before. So that one sounds good. We'll have that. Extra cards are always helpful. So there you go, that's where you get one of, I think it's 5 missions, I can't remember. I'm assuming that's what that means. And that's kind of what the mission parameters are. It's a normal battle, you get different levels of battle. That's kind of what you need to do, and if you do that, you get some extra points. If you don't do the sort of mission parameter, you win, but you don't get the extra bonus. And the bonuses can be useful because sometimes they're things like extra HP at the start of each thing, or new cards, or you can upgrade cards. So yeah, okay, so it's quite simple to start. There's us. There's loads of different stat things and level ups you can get later, which will come down here, but obviously I'm just starting this playthrough so I haven't got any. And how it basically works is that's our life. We'll call it life, that's theirs. We're hiding them already because this is a very early round. And the things to watch out for there, you've got the blue, which is kind of your defence, and the red is how you overheat if you use more certain attacks. So that one you get +1 to overheat. So for example, I'll just do that. And you can see she's burning a bit. So that's not what you want. And then there's other things you can do, which to take off the heat. And that there is what the shield, that's our armour, 3. That number there is their attack, 2. So we've got enough armour to cover their attack anyway. So we can hit them again. Some attacks don't use any overheat, some do, some have other complicated little attachments. There's quite a lot of, especially when you get more into this, there's quite a lot of things, not only of the cards, but the different enemies have abilities you have to watch out for. Some reproduce, and some do this if you do that, and some will wipe off your armour. There's lots of things. So there you go. So you get cards that are 0, and you can use them even when you've got, there you go, we've got no points to spend, but we can still use that if we want. Gain armour equal, well, there's no point in gaining armour equal to the enemy's armour because the enemy's got no armour, so that would be pointless. So we'll go again. And then we've still got 1 armour from the last round. In some playthroughs or some missions or some rounds, however you want to put it, your armour doesn't continue through, and some of the enemies have ways to wipe off your armour, but in these early ones it'll stay. So you can see we've already got him down to a lot of health. If you lose, an important thing to remember in this game, which I've just remembered, is if you lose life, you can get it back. You can buy things in the shop that are like health potions, for want of a better word, and you can get stats that will increase. But if you lose life, when you come back into the next round, your life will be what it was. You don't get rebooted to 50-50. So for example, if this very easy enemy killed me to 10, so I was 50-40, when I started the next round, that's what I would be. And that's very important, because it's not only about killing the enemy in front of you, it's making sure you don't lose too much life to fight the next round, because when you get through this further, if you lose life on enemies you should beat, or even enemies you might not beat easily, you really struggle to keep going. So you don't want to mess around with people. You want to get rid of them as quick as you can, and you've got loads of different exciting things. There you go. That's 2 points from our 5. There's things that add to how many points you can use as well, and some don't use any, as I've shown you the 0 one. So we use that, and once again that's an overheat. So we will use one of these defend ones, although we don't need to defend. They also do a cooldown or a minus overheat, whatever you want to call it. So we'll defend, then we'll hit with a thing that doesn't use overheat, and then we'll hit again. Oh, we're out of energy, so we won't hit again. We'll wait till next time. They've not got anything much they're going to do to us, so like I said, it's a very basic enemy. So we don't really need to worry. That we'll probably finish that one off almost, and then we just use that one to kill them. And these are the rewards we've got at the end of this. We've got 1 skill point, 32 in gold, which you can use to buy items to help your progress, kits and bullets and things. And we can pick one of these cards. I think we'll pick that one actually. Yeah. So there you go, and then it goes straight into the next round. And as you can see, we've gone through, we've got 1 more health point, I'm not sure why, I can't remember. And you can do a normal battle, or you can do an elite battle. If you do the elite battle, you get 1 of 3 constant cards. The cards have different names. I'll show you when we go into the next round. If you do that, you can read. So we'll do this because, again, early on, these things aren't as vital, the enemies you should beat anyway. That's a nasty drill looking thing. So all the cards have different types. There's attack cards, which are these ones. The blue ones are defend, and then there's other types, which often you have to be careful what sort of cards you use, because sometimes especially because of what the enemies are, this forfeits for using certain sorts of cards, or they can use buffs and things that stop using certain sort of cards, especially later on. So they've got they recover health. And also they've got a 2 times 5, which is 10, obviously, attack, and like I said, we don't really want to get too injured early on. You can't be sure what cards you'll get, but you know, we've got 6, so that's rather have. Sometimes you have to kind of work out what cards you hope to get, and we really wanted to get a armor card, so we did. That's good. Don't really want to overheat anymore, and that's exactly what we wanted. So now we've got another defend, which will put us up to 12, which will be more than their attack. And as I said, the important thing is try not to lose as many life points as you can early on. So now they've got a shield, which is annoying, and so obviously we want to can buff up our defense as well. That's good. I'm not sure why we triggered a combo, I can't remember all that. There's loads of different bits and pieces of combos and things you can do. And this is just to give you a gist. This is quite a simple game to get the hang of, but it's quite complicated to work out all the little bits and pieces. Like I said, when you've got a whole row of stats yourself down here, which will come up when you go on and on in the game, and then we've got things here. All the cards have different things they do and don't do. Sometimes you haven't seen it yet, but there's more than, sometimes there's 3-4 enemies, and they all have different things they're doing. It's hard to remember all of it. So here we are. They've got an attack of 8, 1 times 8, and we've got 11 in our shield already, so there's no need to theoretically boost their shield, but we haven't got any attack cards, so we might as well boost up our shield. Then we've got this, which will knock out their shield, which is good. We don't need to really worry about our shield, and we'll do a defend just to knock off the overheat a bit. And that will do. They drilled us, but we didn't feel a thing. That'll tell you what it's doing. So the next 2 turns, dealing damage to enemy using attack cards will deal 2 damage to yourself. And you have to really be aware and constantly vigilant about these little things that the enemies do, because again, now it's not critical because we've got full life almost, and we can deal with it. But later on, when you've got more difficult enemies and multiple enemies, these little things that they do and the things that their buffs up there and the things they're trying to do, that can make a lot of difference. So for example, if we were very low health and we find out if we attack with an attack card, they're going to do 2 damage to us, that would be very serious. So what we'll try and do, which sometimes you can't really do, is not use too many attack cards. So enemy, we don't really want to do that. Okay, so we're going to have to attack it because we can't really do anything else, and it'll deal 2 damage until we've got 12 shields, so it is what it is. Again, later on, in a certain situation, that would be very bad. But in this situation now, it's not critical. So and again, they do 10 damage, but that's fine because we've got 15. It never hurts, especially when you know. Sometimes, again, always check the opponents, your enemies' buffs and things, because sometimes your shield will be wiped out after one little round, so you don't want to waste time boosting up your shield just to find out it's wiped. But at the moment they've not got that kind of stat, so we might as well just give them a hitting and try and kill them off as quickly as we can. So you can see the basics of this game are simple. That's why I said it's a bit like Strike Force Gladius. Not in the way it's done, obviously, this is a completely different sort of game. It's a card-based game, but in the context that it's easy to drop into, you don't have to really worry about, you know, where you are in a mission or what's going on or long-term consequences other than little consequences in the game. Once you start, you can't just come out of it, so that again is a bit similar. And it's simple to pick up, but again, like Strikeforce Gladius, there's lots of little details and things once you get into the game that aren't as straightforward as it looks like it's going to be, and it can get quite complicated. So I wouldn't say this is a simple game. It's certainly not. What does that say? Gain 8 armor. That's annoying. Yeah, okay. So I wouldn't say this is a simple game. I'd say it's an easy game and simple game to pick up, but it's not a simple game to. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not a simple game to get the whole hang of. I was playing it off and on for quite a few days, maybe a week, I can't remember. And I wouldn't say that even at the end of it I was like really confident with all the little stats and all the little things you can do and all the little combos and all the little triggering. And we've had combos now and I'm not quite sure why, because I can't remember what did that. And I'm sure if I played this again for a few days I would get the hang of it. But there's lots of little bits and pieces like in Strikeforce Gladius, for example, where the main thing is simple, but the little side bits you get, especially as the game goes on and it gets more difficult, are not simple. So we're just making sure we've got enough armour, and then we'll give it a kicking. Okay. And as you can see, this is a basic enemy, and it's not a gimme. And we've lost more than 10 of our hit points. So it's like I said, always check these things. Okay. Up our defense. And then we have to do something, so I know it says we'll lose a few points, but like in every game you ever played, there's always a balance between attack and defense and doing nothing and doing something. And okay, we actually want to kill this thing now, it's getting annoying, so let's concentrate on knocking its health down. So they have a lot of things. I'll have to look and see what their stats are again. They have a lot of different things. This is early on, where they've obviously got something that knocks off our shield each time we attack them. So that's what's causing us damage. And like I said, this is just an early enemy, and it's one enemy. So later on, you have to be on it quite a lot to remember what's going to do damage to you and what you don't want to be doing to the enemy. Sometimes there's whole types of card you can't use because they block you with a ability, or that you don't want to use because if you do, it's going to do something to you. So we've got it down to 13 health, so that's good. And we've got enough We'll just do one more to get rid of that overheat. And then we're going to have to attack. A bit more of this, a bit more attack. A bit more attack. Okay, that's all we can do. Give us a drilling, which sounds a bit painful, but wasn't. Okay, well, we haven't got any attack cards to use at the moment, so that's fine. Sometimes it's really good to boost up your shield, so that's what we've done there. Cause, yeah, they've got a thing that keeps giving them life, so it's that balance between taking them out, and you really want to get them as low as you can, because at some point they're going to get a life boost. That's why they're still alive. Yeah, okay, so that was good. So that was kind of a, you know, an average little round. Again, this time we get 97 in gold, we get 2 skill points, we get another new card, you can pick your card. I would suggest when you're playing this early on, you just pick the ones that are simple, because you won't know what all these, you know, you can read all that, and I've just read all that, and you won't, I don't even remember all the little bits and whether that's really good or that's going to be really beneficial. So gain 2 armour, and that sounds more simple, and early on I'd say just get the things that are obvious to you. So that's kind of Neoverse. I'm going to come back and do another little video finishing this little playthrough, but I won't continue it now because there's no point in making this video really long, because this game always comes back to where you are, a bit like Strike Team Gladius. You can't lose your progress, even if you wanted to, even if you're making bad progress. So, and as you can see, to be honest, I'm making bad progress because I'm on 13 of 52, so that's very bad. You get these things for winning battles, which I haven't got yet, but you do. You can also buy things with the money that we've got, and there you can see the things you can buy. So your random cards, armour. You can renew, and later on that will cost you money to renew the goods, but at the moment it's free. Consume, that means that you use the card once in your hand in that round and then it's gone, but that would be quite good, deal 5 damage, so we might buy that, and it costs no points, so that's useful to have. And you can see all these other little things. There's quite a lot of little things like this, some of which make little difference and some make a lot of difference. But anyway, so that's Neoverse. I'll come back to playing through the last little bit of this playthrough, well, this set of missions, I'll say. It's not round, but each one of these little games is around. So this little mission, and by the look of my points, I may not make it to the end, but we'll see. So thanks for watching Neoverse, and part 2 of Neoverse will be next time. Take care.